Hello everyone, welcome back to Humble Acres. You've probably seen this before in one of my other videos where we actually built this stump bucket. I haven't used it since because it doesn't really work that great with the trees that I have. So I want to modify it. So as you know, I've been working out in the field a lot trying to rip out all these trees in the field, and the odd thing is the bigger trees have been uprooting quite easily, but the smaller ones, when I go to push them over, they just bend over or just snap off, which most of the time I've been able to kind of like dig under them a little bit and push them over, but they're so bendy that it's really hard to get them out with my grapple on my tractor. My theory is I can split this in half and make one of the halves swing, and then I have this hydraulic cylinder that I kind of use on everything. I'm gonna make some mounts for that right here, so it will be able to clamp onto trees, and then we'll be able to just rip them out or grab down here with them and then tilt the bucket so then it pries on this end, and we'll be able to just rip them out that way. That's my idea. I think we're gonna have to reinforce it a little bit because this metal's a little thin to be ripping out trees. I think I'm gonna get way more use out of it doing that than what it is right now. And I could probably still use it as a stump bucket as well. I should probably try to explain what I'm doing here because you guys have been watching a bunch of time lapses, I'm sure. So this side is going to be stationary. I got the base all welded. I got the support bar in here. Hopefully that side will be fine. And I cut the whole thing off because I wanted to move this side in towards the center more. I didn't want it near that wide, so that's why I did that. I'm trying to figure out the pivot for this one now, and these pieces were angled out from the bottom, so they're kind of angled out like this. So this one, I just left this one how it was because it didn't really matter. This one, I actually torched the bottom right here a little bit so I could bend the bottom so it's a 90-degree angle with this side. So now I can put a hinge right along this seam here and it'll hinge at a 90-degree angle. I went and cut a bunch of these little loops here. So these ones I'm going to use for mounting the hydraulic cylinder. These I'm going to use for the hinge. And the reason I cut a bunch of these out is because I don't have a drill or a drill bit to drill out holes this big. And this has become more and more of an issue, but I'm getting by. So these I'm going to use for hinges. So I'm basically going to put a couple on here and then a couple attaching to that like so, and then we're going to put this rod through there, and that is going to be our hinge for that. And then these I'm going to put somewhere like that, and one up here, and that is going to be the cylinder hook up. I think I want these mounts to be as close to the edge as possible because that makes sense, and I want it to be right in line with the bottom of this. So pretty much the mount on this side needs to go right here, but then I just need to figure out where I want to put the other end on here, because if I put it up here it'll have a lot more closing force. If I put it down here it'll be able to open further. So I really just need to figure out what I want. That's not very far. Check this out. You might be bending it a little. This plate is actually bent back, and that's why it's flexing forward so much. So I welded this on the end. I am going to bend this with the hydraulic cylinder so it pulls this out, and then weld it so it's actually flat again, because right now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's bowed in the back a lot. This angle iron here is straight and it touches there and there, but it's like an inch in the middle. Alright, so these things are commonly used to pull out posts like this, and as I was going out to the field I saw this one here, so why don't we try it on this? It's probably going to be easier than pulling out a tree, I think, maybe. So let's just try it on this, see what happens. That wasn't hard at all, so. All right, let's go see what it'll do with the tree. Hopefully it goes just as good. So what I've kind of noticed is I probably have these too sharp because they act more like scissors on the small stuff than anything. You can kind of see that they're kind of sharp. They kind of have a point on them. So I feel like these are more shears than anything. So it works. But I actually think this is slower than just turning around and grinding all the stumps off with the stump grinder. So I think I'm just gonna put the grapple back on, start pushing them over, cutting them off, and just go from there. Yeah, if I can't uproot them, it's kind of a bummer, but I don't know, it'll be fine. And I just think this is going slower. and I'm kind of limited on my range of where I can tilt and stuff because the hoses aren't really long enough on that cylinder. Alright, so as you saw from the drone footage, I have just a little patch of trees here left. And my goal for today is to get these cleared up. So today is supposed to be 70 degrees here, and tomorrow a high of like 32 and a low in the teens. And that's what it looked like for the rest of the 10-day forecast or whatever. So this is probably my last good day of being able to work out here before the ground starts freezing. And once the ground is frozen, there's no way I'm gonna be able to be out here doing this. So my goal, I'm not gonna be able to get all the trees cleared because it's not really that I waited too long, but I was just so busy this year doing so many different projects, and I still have a ton more. I probably should have prioritized working on the land rather than the FJs a little bit, but because the FJs are kind of a better winter project, but I don't know, I just kind of do what I enjoy. So I actually do really enjoy doing this though. Let's try to get this little patch cleared at least, and then in the spring, once the ground thaws and dries out a little bit, we can work on the rest. So all three of my drone batteries are dead now, and it's kind of misting, so I don't want to get the drone wet because I don't want to break it again. So we're gonna do a time lapse on this camera. This is the best I can do, but I gotta keep at it because my wife has to go to work a little later, so I'm gonna have to stop whenever she leaves. I have like an hour and a half maybe. So I'm gonna try to get this bunch of trees done in an hour and a half. So this is a momentous occasion. This is the last tree. I tell you what, all these little sticks or all these little trees are a nightmare. They are so incredibly difficult to dig up. I don't understand. The big ones are so easy, and all the tiny little ones are awful. I'm just gonna get my brush hog and just come over and just mow them off. Like, I'm just gonna drop it all the way to the ground and just cut them all off as low as I can. I don't have the patience to try dig or grind every single one off. It's insane. So let's get this tree down and we'll be done. Well, I don't think we can end this until I get all this stuff mowed down, because it drives me insane. I hate them so much. They're so hard to deal with, and I hate them. I have to mow them off. Sorry about the wind. I got this all mowed. It looks amazing. And I'm finally done with this portion. That was a lot of work. It was honestly extremely fun to do, but it just takes a long time, and the time I have is very minimal when I can actually be out here by myself and not watching my kids. So I'm very happy that I got this done this year. Next year I want to be able to get more done. Hopefully get the rest done in the spring maybe. That'd be a nice goal, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. I also wanted to mention that I've put about 20 hours now on the tractor since fixing that hard line on it, and I haven't had any problems. So cross our fingers that we don't have any problems for a long, long time. But it's working good. Hopefully it stays that way.